G'day guys, we're going to ask Woodfords episode 17?
Yes.
17. Now, I've got a very special guest, like always our special guest, but this one is even more so special for me because he'll be my first junior that I've actually coached and trained, and I've seen him since he was a kid, so it's real weird for me to see him as an adult now, even though he is an adult. You might have heard his story. It's Jack Higgins. Before you talk, Jack, I'm sure you've got a lot to say because I'll be letting you in here, but Jack's story is something that I wanted to bring up with everyone. First time I met Jack, I met his father as well, who's actually behind the camera, Greg Higgins, and I thought this guy is dead set crazy. Greg comes up to me, very full on, very intense like me, wearing a Jets top, and obviously... Giants, thank you, Giants top. And obviously, because of my networks at Maryland, when I came back, we kind of had that bond straight away. And Jack has been training in Woodford since he was 14. I was lucky enough to take over his prep when he was 16 or 16 for the last 2 years. So his most important 2 years I took over. Had a real good bottom age year. Was unlucky to make All-Australian as a bottom ager, which is quite hard. He only played, if you know anything about Jack, is very competitive. Didn't make as a bottom major. Won the BNF at Oakley. Came second in the BNF at Oakley. Is in the AS. In the AS since he was a bottom major. 16. Yeah, 16. I'm pumping you up here right now. I've just had the privilege to watch this kid grow, not only into a good, terrific footballer, but there's not many kids who have the same work ethic of Jack, and I wanted to show you guys, and so Jack can tell you himself because I pump him up all the time, but I feel he doesn't get the media because he's not 190 centimetres, he's only 180 centimetres, and if you're under that height, you kind of don't get the same publicity as you would 190. So, welcome, Jack, to the show.
Thanks for having me, Woody.
I'm glad you're on here. I'm really glad you're on here. It's been a fantastic story. For everyone out there, I want you to explain to everyone what you do on an average week with your training, and talk about the different people in your life. Like not just your old man, but you've got. Not many people don't know this, but unless you kind of understand this to see. But Bowden Babachek is your speed coach. You got a core coach. So talk about your average week, what you do in your week.
Yeah, obviously I do a lot of touch during the day. And
so when you say touch, people wouldn't know what touch is. What is touch?
Like a lot of school work, so just So just a lot of craft work. So let's just say 45 minutes a day in my hallway. Plus after that we'll go to Oakley training and then train after that. So
when you say, so touch work, like let's go back to skills work, because this is something I really want to touch on, right? Because this is something that when I first met you, you're the first person in Australia, junior athlete I've ever seen obsessed about your craft. Like every little bit of your craft. Let's forget about physical prep, let's talk about your craft, right? Skills is lacking today in what I see in AFL, right? Now you and your old man, Greg, and I want you to touch on Greg later because I think he is the biggest influence in your life. I just think Greg's brilliant. If you had one father here, Greg Higgins is just, I think your relationship with your dad, and the reason I say that, and I've told this, is because we've shared videos, you and I, on what I talk about my father. I'm not going to get emotional here because I said to get emotional, but my one influence in my life is Jeff. Right? So when I see these two, I got a connection with Jack because of Greg, because I saw how Greg was and the connection you have. So what do you guys do? Like when you and Greg go, I've always wanted to know, so this is the first time I'm hearing this, when you guys go, like, do you guys have structure to what you do? Or, like, I know Greg's a structured man, he's a knows what he's doing, but like, what do you guys do at the park? Like when you say touch, like, do you do, I know, talk to me about that. Like, do you do 50 right, 50 left, handballs? What do you guys do?
Yeah, we sort of mix it up, but we normally have the same like structure in skills.
Yeah.
So we just go through a whole plan. So we got it written down on the hallway wall what we do. So we could go. So then we start like with 20 no step kicks left and right.
Yeah.
Then hard kicks in hand on the ground to basically do everything in the 45 minutes in enclosed space. So
it's all in closed space.
All in closed space.
Yeah. Do you feel like the role, if it wasn't for your old man, Higgins, if it wasn't for your old man, do you think you'd be at this level at the moment? Because, man, I don't know how many dads would, because Greg saw talent in you. You obviously had talent, right? Well, you obviously had talent. Apart from you couldn't run. I know you couldn't run until you saw Bowden, but how's the relationship with the old man? Like how do you feel about Greg? I know he's your old man, but like, talk to me about that relationship.
Yeah, well, we've got a pretty good relationship. We're always doing skills together and stuff like that. And he's always in my trainings and stuff. He always critiques me if I'm not doing something right. So he's always there helping me out no matter what. Always in my running sessions. Yeah. Always doing skills with me, and especially since this early age. Yeah. He's helped me kick left, right foot.
Your left foot, and I was just going to touch on that. Your left foot is just the same as your right. And skills these days, no, I'm being serious. One thing I look at you when I see you is no one can ever question your work ethic. I can't see you going into this system and not. I believe this is a big call, right? I'm not putting pressure on you. This is a big call. I believe that one day you will win a Brownlow. Just hold on, hear me out, and you can play this back. I'm biased completely. I'm completely biased, and when I'm biased, we all know how I am when I'm biased. I just go to the top. But when I believe in someone, Hodge, Sandor Earl, Jack Higgins, I could go Liam Donald, I could go through Heath Davidson, I could go through a fucking whole list of them, right? When I train people, I see something in someone that I like, and there's something I resonate with. So we talk about resonation, right? With him, I feel like your work ethic is something that's sickening. And when I say sickening, in a good way, I mean sickening because I feel like I have that, right? But I feel people will just use that against you and say you have no room to grow. How do you feel when your knock, and this is just being honest, your knock is that you have no room to grow as a footballer? What do you think about that? Talk me through that.
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit of a laughable, that's just something people think I'm not even sure what to say back to that because everyone's got stuff to grow. I'm not even in a full-time environment. Wait till next year when I'm at the club.
And the full-time environment. Be honest, I feel like you've been in a full-time environment for the last 4 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, in terms of you been preparing for that.
Yeah, I know, but one with AFL coaches and stuff like that. So I think I've got plenty and just everyone that puts hate on me just makes me want more. Kevin Durant, who gets hate all the time, with him now, he's MVP and stuff like that.
I just think
the final. So
I think that I believe that, there's been talk in the media, and Greg and I have had a chat about this, we've said, you don't know where you're going to hear your name out, but in the media right now, and maybe if we can put up some clips, paper clips, I'll send them to you so people can understand, and maybe we'll put up some. There's been a lot of articles on Jack, so I'd love so people understand his story. You could go anywhere from 2 to 15, right?
Probably not 2, probably 5. I've got no idea.
Well, you got no idea. Let's be serious. But what I'm trying to say, Buckenara put you 4, right? So Buckenara put you 4. Yeah. You could go anywhere from 4 to 15. I'm going to say 2 to 15 because this is what people told me. I'm just telling you.
Right on number 1. It's number 1.
Okay.
Clear cut.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know where it's going. I've heard there's guys who could go number 1 I've never even heard of. So we're just going to wait till draft day. That's all we're going to say. We're going to wait. But I want you to talk about your mindset going into... this has been your dream since you were how old, do you reckon? Be serious.
How old do you reckon?
Come on. How old?
Probably 6.
Yeah, probably 6.
Probably 6 being your dream.
Yeah.
How do you feel right now, bro? You're probably what is it now?
It's 3 months somewhere.
August, September, October, November. 3 months, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel? Tell everyone how you feel, man. There's kids out there watching who follow your story, who message me privately about you. How do you feel?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty excited about the next coming 3 months. It's always been a dream of mine to even get a chance in the AFL and get an AFL system. So I can't wait till that day sort of happens and I'll be over the moon. But once I get there, it's day 1. Got to head
down, work hard.
Up.
I think he says that right there. A lot of the kids, they go in there, they probably think that shit. I was a big fish, small pond. Now they go in there, you're at the bottom level, Jack, my friend.
It doesn't matter what pick you are, even if I go pick 99 or 199, you're same pick and everyone starts from the same.
I want to tell everyone a story about Jack. It's a good story. I remember this, and I remember little things in my life. I don't remember everything, but I remember this one thing. I'll give you an example. We were squatting once, right? This is Jack, and just to let everyone know, pre-season, off-season, Jack has done this for 2 years. So as I said, he's going to talk about his other coaches in a second, but just for what I've done with him, I focus on his strength and power. He's got a very good speed coach. He's got a core coach. He's got a massage therapist. So I want all the kids watching this, always understand there is more to football training than just rocking up and playing your sport. To maximise your potential as a footballer, you have to do extras, okay? And I think Jack is the first the first of many coming through. Jack will be just the leader, and me exposing what he does will bring a lot more kids to do it now. Like, I've already had a lot more messages, because in the NFL, if you look at the collegiate kids, if you look at the NFL boys, in the off season, they hire outside help. They don't, and Alex is just nodding his head because he knows he's right. That's how I got the idea for Woodford, because when I was in America, all these guys are training at private performance centres. They've got their own massage. The perfect thing that can show his professionalism was when we were squatting, and we were just squatting. I said, well, do you want to go up? He said, what? I just want to do what's going to make you a better footballer. And what I'm saying is, to have a kid of 17-year-old, 18-year-old ilk, when I was 18, I was the biggest idiot in the world. I mean, I'm 31, nearly done being an idiot. But the professionalism at a young age, it's changing Australia. And what I'm saying is, Jack will be the first that are coming through the ranks, and he's helped me develop this in terms of applied sports science. I couldn't have done it without him. I couldn't have done it without Sandor, Hodge. Everyone's got a story. His story is to watch how hard he grinds and how hard he works and every aspect of his game, technical, tactical, physical, psychological, recovery, nutrition, hydrate. I could go for it. But that is an athlete. That is a professional. Okay? The days have gone of just rocking up to training expecting. He doesn't just rock up and play well. It's not been no fluke. This is not just... I'd say he has talent. Right? I'm guarantee you right now, and this is to everyone out there as well, he has good talent. If he didn't put in the work, he wouldn't be as good as he would be. He works. Yeah, I'd say he outworks all the draft pool right now. I'm sorry. I don't know what they do, but I'm telling you, there's not many kids. 99% of the kids would not do what he does, because I've seen it day in, day out. How many kids have that consistency, Alex? At 18. Only a few. And that because he's getting the most out of his ability. Now, That's when the biggest thing that I saw was seeing his professionalism, his work ethic coming in, doing his skill work. It's little things that add up. Let's talk about your other coaches. So let's talk about Bowden and the role that he's played in your development as a football player. So Greg was talking to your manager, Paul, and he said, listen, Jax doesn't run very efficiently. Yeah. And then you first met Baba. Talk to everyone about how long you've been with Baba for and what you guys do and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it was back in under 13s interleague days.
13s?
Yeah.
You've been with Baba for 5-6 years?
Yeah, probably 5 years.
Jesus Christ.
And I was running against a fellow, it's probably like, probably going to get drafted as well.
What's his name?
We'll leave that one alone.
Oh, okay, yeah. We'll leave that one alone. Yeah. Okay, I know which one, yeah.
He outswiped me the ball and had a pretty bad technique. So
what was your technique like when you were younger?
Like this.
Was it that bad?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Good.
It was pretty slow and stuff. Well, it was pretty good endurance runner, don't get me wrong.
What did you run? For everyone out there, this is serious, what do you run? Because they're doing the yo-yo this year, but what do you run on the beat?
My best ever is 15.3.
All right, what's your 20?
Oh, I wouldn't be able to tell you, around 3.
It's under 3, isn't it?
Under 3, yeah.
God, thank God. Make me sound a little bit better. Bloody hell, you're under 3. So talk about Baba. Talk about the role that he's played in your career as a footballer and developing.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
Yeah, well, Baba's just like yourself, has had a huge impact on my career so far. Like just agility, speed work, just getting out of stoppages, just everything. And he's such a nice guy as well. That makes it so much better to work with. Yeah, he's an absolute legend. I can't thank him enough for what he's done for me and what he's going to continue to do for me in the future.
Baba's actually, for everyone out there in the strength and conditioning land, Bowden Babacek is like a legend in the strength and conditioning. He was one of the first full-time S&C coaches, Melbourne, Hawthorn, Carlton, I'm pretty sure. I've on Melbourne, Hawthorn, but I've never met him, but I respect him. He was one of the first. You always got to respect the people before you, and he was one of the guys who really laid the foundation. So Jack's been working with Baba for a long time, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your core coach, Trimmers. What do you guys do, you and Trimmers? So explain the reason why you see Trimmers and how it's improved your football as well.
Yeah, well, I just got on the Trimmers this year to do a bit of Pilates work and a bit of core and a bit of stretching work.
Yeah.
My core is pretty strong like last year, but I want to get it even stronger.
Yeah. So
for the draft and hopefully going to the AFL next year.
So you only seen Trimmers for a year now?
Just for a year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a year for the same.
What's his full name?
Dom Trimboli.
Dom Trimboli. So there's a shout out to Dom Trimboli. Where does he work out of?
Actually, not sure.
Greg? Avado in Hawthorns. There's a shout out to these guys. Maybe we tag them as well. There we go. So a shout out. So he's working on your core strength.
Yeah, core
your ability to stand. One thing I've noticed this year, and Greg, you can probably attest to this, is your ability to hold up in tackles, get the hands out free. You know, I've kind of noticed that every time I've seen your players just being strong to your hips, strong to your core. You don't really drop to the ground much. He doesn't go to the ground much. And that's the... Well, how many times have you been injured since you've been here?
I haven't been injured. Well, I've never been injured.
Touch wood. There we go. So just say that again. You've been here for 4 years and you've never had a you never had an injury in general. Touch wood. No. Never had an injury.
Never been out for a week unless sickness.
Unless sickness.
Yes.
So I just want you to repeat that one more time on the camera, and I want you to replay this, Alex, and snip this. How many times have you been injured in the last 4 years? How many times?
0 times.
0 times. Now, if you want a fucking reason, so for my language, mum, for a reason for doing proper S&C, mate, that's the perfect example right there, young fella. And how many kids that get out, especially you're been in the TAC Cup for a long time now, get rubbed out because of injury, soft tissue injury?
Heaps. Especially like as high as you go up, like people miss it like in really important games that they should be playing.
Exactly. There we go. Perfect example. Now, let's talk about where you feel you can improve as a footballer in terms of, I think one thing we talked about before that people saying you're a cap. Let's say when you're in an AFL system and you've got all these services at your availability, where do you think you can mainly improve as a footballer, and where do you see yourself playing at that next level? Like, are you going to be a midfielder? Are you going to be a forward? Where do you see yourself fitting? Because I know you did a 2-week AS gig when you were at Collingwood. How did you find that as well? So let's talk about that.
Yeah, or the AS bit.
Talk about the first bit where you think you can improve as a footballer.
Oh, I think I can improve in a lot of areas of my football.
Yep.
Just being with AFL coaches and being them with each day in, day out.
Which in a full-time program.
In a full-time program, I definitely think I can improve my weaknesses and also improve my strength.
I think personally, can I give you my feedback, because I know Greg will like this one. Running both ways has improved.
Yeah,
I thought that's improved because you had to work on that. I thought you had to work on that. Personally, I think your skills, your skills are. I mean, you don't. One thing I think you're going to, as you develop into your body, this is my opinion, I don't know who else thinks this opinion, Greg, you're better posed to put this, but would be the penetrating kick, because he's going to get stronger. Because as he gets stronger, we know for a fact he'll be able to kick it further. I think, but other than that, I mean, your skills are quite good.
Yeah.
But once you're in that system, as you said, and this is for everyone out there, once you're in a high-performance system, you're with skilled coaches every day or high level, that's where you need that development. That's where you're going to see improvement, and you're going to see massive improvement from a guy like you, I believe, when you're in the system, because you're very coachable. You're at that age now where you're starting to be a bit of a smart ass to me. I'm knowing that. But that's the kids, when they turn 18, 19. One of Jack's mates with two kids who are here, two young men, I'm going to call them. Ethan Wilson, shout out to Eth, snowboarder. And Pierce Waring, and hopefully gets a professional soccer contract as well. So they're both of Jack's mates, and all three of them very driven, very passionate at their own individual sport: football, snowboard, cross. They've got that right for Heath, and soccer. So all three of them kind of have the same drive and the same passion to get better, but they're all coachable, and that's one thing that I think you are. Is your ability to be coachable and to get better as an athlete. Like, that's one thing I've noticed is you always want to get better. So when people say that, you're capped, that's complete bullshit. You're 18 years old. Where you are at 18 will be completely different to where you are at 22, 23 when you're peaking as an AFL footballer. Once you are in the system, trust me, you're gonna. And you've seen when you're in the system, but you're more as a
more of a fly by night.
Was a fly, but exactly. You're kind of 2 weeks.
That's a good word for you.
There we go. 2 weeks. 2 weeks only. Where do you see yourself? Talk to everyone. Where do you see yourself
playing?
Well, yes, if you do get picked up, which 90% we're sure, but you never know. But when you do get picked up, where do you want to play? Like
position?
Yeah, position. Like, where do you think your best position is? Because I've seen you play midfield, forward. They're the main two anyway. I've seen you play. You played a bit on the wing, I guess. So
yeah.
Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, last year I played in the wing. For Metro and stuff like that. But probably when I go into if I'm lucky enough to go into an AFL system,
yes,
probably down forward, just learn the craft down there, and then hopefully you're probably
going to
go into the midfield.
Do you know what? I think one thing which you're going to do, I reckon forward will be your option start until you get that. It's a different ball game, my friend. With after I talked to Jay Ellis, my man Jay Ellis, about running patterns and off GPS data, it's probably another different beast in terms of the speed. So I'm guessing they'll put you forward with maybe some runs in the midfield, but you won't have the engine or the size at the start. But I reckon 3 to 4 years, and I was telling Greg about this as well. For the rest of my life, personally, I think I'll be like you with me. I feel like we'll always have that common connection like Sandor and I, but for you, every off-season, I always message Greg and see how you're going, and to see you play your first game would be something surreal for me. But every off-season, he knows he has to be here working his ass off, because Greg and I have talked about, that's one thing I know about you. Every off-season, you message me saying, what do we need to do to get bigger, stronger, faster? Because your career might only be 12 years, 10 years, I hope you have 15 years. What I'm saying is, I know how you are, I know your mindset. It's working on those little things, getting stronger, getting faster every year. Yeah, and I've seen you grow, like, physically. Someone said to me yesterday, I can't remember who it was, goes, man, he's a beast. I said, wait till he's 22. At 22, I reckon physically you hit your peak 23. Strong. I reckon a Toby Green, like, in terms of his body type. You don't know Toby Green, GWS Giants, but that your body type is kind of Toby's body type, strong and powerful.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, that's what you want. You're only small, it's not small, but you know what I'm saying. You're 180.
Yeah.
If you look at, like a guy like Cripps who's 193 and is a midfielder.
Yeah.
Any questions for the young fella?
Benny, curious about your pre-game prep with Jack. For example, 2 to 3 days before a game, if you do anything the day before with regard to priming athletes while still keeping them fresh to perform.
Yeah. Okay, so when Jack came to me, I wanted to start getting into a routine. So my thing with Jack is he has routine. He had routine with his skills. He had routine with Greg, and I like that. So I felt I could fit in and just educate him on the importance of a routine before training and games. So I actually gave Greg and Jack my routine, what I do. Jack, do you want to talk about our routine that I gave you and how it structures up? So in terms of little things, there's a message in there as well. Yep. So let's talk about the routines in terms of the SMR, the mobility and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, Woody, I was lucky enough from Woody to give me a program like that.
Oh man, that is so deep. Like Jack, let's be serious. You're very anal about it now, aren't you?
Yeah, I understand.
Do you do it religiously, doesn't he, Greg? He does it religiously, doesn't it? So let's talk about this, because there'll be a lot of kids out there, and just so everyone understands this is Jack's warm-up outside of Oakley's. Yeah. So Oakley will do, little stuff. But this is what he does before Oakley's warm-up. So go, tell him.
Well, I do a lot of things. So, as you said, I hydrate before the game.
Yeah, so let's talk. So what do we do with hydration? What have I taught you about hydration?
Well, I sort of have a big, sort of like a Gatorade bottle.
Yep, Gatorade bottle, yep.
Gatorade before the match, and sort of drink that down 2 hours before.
Yep, good.
2 hours before.
So you're hydrated,
but you don't get a stitch, and day before, try to drink 2 big 1 litre Matt Franklin bottles.
Greg, my man. Yes. I always told him, I said, mate, you've got to drink. I said, you've got to drink fluids. You've got to get your fluids up. Electrolytes are critical as well. You've got 5 electrolytes: sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride, magnesium. Most important is sodium, potassium, and chloride. They're all important, actually, but yes, those are the big 3. They've got an electrolyte drink, sports drinks. I've educated Jack on the importance of that. And when I say he's coachable, the perfect example is, what kind of kid, I tell him to do it, he does it to a T. 2 litres. So 2 litres of water the day before now.
Plus even more.
But it's probably more. I just get you to drink. Yeah. You've got to stay hydrated. Now, what about the warm-up? Talk to me about the warm-up in terms of how, what do we do? Like, when you rock up, do you rock up 2 hours before the game? What do you do?
I normally rock up 3 hours before the game.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that is commitment.
3 hours before the game. I normally have a few shots of goal and stuff like that. Do it through jog-throughs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then,
so that's just general warm.
Just my sort of stuff. Then do figure 4, strider.
Oh.
I can't remember the other ones because they're on the sheet.
He's got a sheet that I gave him, and I said to him, even in the AFL, brother, you keep that sheet, man. Yeah. You stick to what works. You don't change that.
I look like the biggest idiot before the game, bringing that big white sheet. But
do you actually bring the sheet out?
Yeah, got my mum laminate and stuff. So
Jack's mum, Greg. Every year, Greg laminates every year. Laminates for me, prints it out for me, the fixture. So next year, Greg, you're going to do the AFL one for me, mate. You're going to have to do the AFL one for me. We're going to, wherever he goes as well, for everyone to know, wherever he goes, I'll buy a membership. I don't care where he goes, I'll just buy a membership. So there we go, Jack, for you.
Yeah,
and I'm getting his jumper, and I'm getting Higgins put on it, and also I'm getting Higgins on draft week. I'm getting Higgins in my hair. We might as well celebrate it. That's my thing. Is you celebrate, you smell the roses. That's one thing we talk about taking your time and enjoying process. One thing I've never done, Alex, in my life ever is sit back and really enjoy what I've done, and I'm going to do it with Jack and just watch how excited he gets, because I think it's a fantastic thing. Maybe I'm getting old, mate. I think I'm getting old because I'm seeing things completely different. Because when I was your age, I never ever cared. I never stopped and smelt the roses. Never once. And now I actually feel like, do you know what I'm saying? I never did that. Even with my first gym, you know, I dreamt of having this gym for so long, and then I ever sat back and said I've done well. But now I feel that I'm looking at Jack, and it's like he's some young fella who's just going to live his dream. I'm so proud to be one part of a small wheel that's helped him develop, and to see that is what.
Oh, singing song.
Oh, to see that, it's been brilliant. So where were we with the question? I lost my mind track there.
We'll get to the next one then.
Well, what was the question?
It was about preparation.
Yeah, so you do your mobility. I've just lost my thing. And then what do we do after mobility?
Mobility, and then I got run through. So
no, what do you do after mobility? Mini band.
Oh, mini band. Yeah, mini band.
Activation with mackionfitness.com.au mini bands.
Nah.
Just add the link. So he does a mini band work for his glutes. Jack, Jack's posterior chain, and Greg knows what we're like at Woodford. What I'm like is, I remember when he came in, one focus I had with Jack after I took his prep, yes, thank you, Jack, was his glutes. I wanted to make sure he has big glutes, big hamstrings. That's a big focus I got for the kid. So wherever he goes in an AFL program, they've got a guy who's probably a third, fourth year in the gym, a third, fourth year player. So wherever he goes, I'll email the high performance guy and let him know what I've been doing with him out of respect. Then every off season he comes back, we just build on it, kid, make him bigger, stronger, faster. Next question, please.
Have you had any, Ethan Wilson, have you had any setbacks? And if so, how have you overcome them, or how are you working towards overcoming them?
One of my athletes, Heath, and that's Jack's mate. So go, answer the question. What do you think, Jack?
Oh, I haven't really had that many setbacks after my career.
Under 12s?
Yeah, well, my first ever setback is the story for you. I was under 12s state team. Didn't make that.
You didn't make the under 12 state team?
I didn't make the under 12 state team.
That's the first time I've ever heard you not making any football. Really?
Didn't make the under 12 state team, but funny story about that.
Yeah.
Didn't make the under state team, was absolutely devastated. Thought my AFL career was over.
At under 12, because you're a kid, you don't know any better.
12 at the time. And I was
devastated under 12.
And went back home after playing the game. Didn't make it, unfortunately. Didn't make it, and then went straight back to the park that afternoon. Did about 2 hours of skills, did goal kicking, did sprints, and then it was just that moment even more dedicated to make.
So wait, stop. You found out you didn't make the team, so the first thing you did was work back on your skills.
Yeah.
This probably sums you up as an athlete, mate. That's ridiculous. So
after playing a game.
After playing a game.
Yeah.
So wait, how many, can you tell everyone, this is interesting because I only found this out probably 6 months ago after talking to Greg. When was the last time how many BNFs have you won? No, being serious, this is incredible.
I'm actually not sure.
Greg, how many BNFs? I know you don't count, but be serious. Have you ever, the only BNF, you won 14s, 15s, 16s, 17s?
Yeah, for
Club?
Yeah.
Have you ever won comp BNFs?
No. You
never won a comp BNF?
No.
Where did you come the TAC Cup BNF last year?
I think equal fourth.
Equal fourth. How many games you played?
Whatever APS.
This year, the awards this year for TAC Cup, Jack should win by, if I was a betting man, which I ain't, but I am because I bet on Conor McGregor.
How much?
$100. Win some decent money back, but he's not going to win, but I just throw it out there, But if you're a betting man, I'll put it out there, Jack will win the TAC Cup BNF by an absolute canter. An absolute canter, and he should win the Oakley by a canter. But it's all about, at the end of the day, it's about his development. And they're a byproduct of the work that he does. It's always good to get individual words as a byproduct, but at the end of the day, it's about his development as a footballer. Now, so you've only had that under 12 thing as a setback. Any more questions?
Yeah, we just got another one. Dano Lachlan, what sort of weights, rep sets, exercises does he do in season?
Yeah, listen, it's a wide open question. In season, we focus on just low rep heavy weight. That's more maximal strength because he's a kid. Still, he's 18, he's growing. When I say growing, he's physically growing to his body. By the time he's 20, so he'll have a full pre-season this year. He'll have another pre-season. By his third time he comes to me in the off-season, he should be, we'll be at a stage where Jack will be physically very, very strong, very, very powerful. And I think he'll be reaching his peak between 22 to 24. It's like a Dustin Martin in terms of that. That's Dusty's 25. That's what I'm trying to say physically. I'm not saying the same player as him. But 22, 25, Greg, Alex, and all the viewers out there, I think physically he'll be reaching his physical maturity. Right now, I'm really focusing. He's very strong. If you actually watch his videos, he has very good motor control, very good mobility thanks to trimmers, very good technique. Even when I watch him run, thanks to Baba. His strength work is quality thanks to myself. The way he moves, like he's strong relative to his body weight, but I've really pushed him. I'm not going to push him yet, not this off-season, because they're going to wherever he goes in AFL, they're managing quite well. I will push him over the next few off-seasons because I really want to get some good work in. I only have you for 8 weeks, man. I'll miss you. Man, imagine next season what I'm going to do with that. You'll be messaging you all the time. You're like, man, what are you doing in the gym? I'll be missing you. That's one thing I always thought about is when you leave, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll get bored without Greg here. At least Greg will come. Don't worry. That's why I hope you stay here. I know you can't help it, but I'm hoping a Melbourne-based club takes him. That's what I'm hoping anyway. I don't want to be selfish.
Greg can come in and lift.
Yeah, Greg, you can come in and lift. Greg can come in. So that's what I've been doing with him. Every off-season, I've got data. I've got data from Jack. It'll be good when we get all this testing equipment, which is coming out very soon in a video. Get ready, guys. Big news at Woodford. So when I get this testing equipment, it's always good because I can just filter him through and I can see what he's doing every year. And with Jack, it's a base. I've got a foundation. He's 18. And then I want to build from there. So by his third off season, we're really getting some volume into him in terms of his strength work. And then when he gets to day one of pre-season, he's hitting the ground and running. Because a lot of these guys, they get to day one pre-season, they're out of shape. You can't be out of shape. And he won't be out of shape though, because I know how Greg is, I know how he is. Can imagine Greg Woody, he's coming down here. I said, mate, don't tell me about that. He's like furniture. You can come in any time. You got a key here, don't you?
I got a key.
Now, this is how much respect I've got for the kid. Damn. I remember I gave him a key, and you know I don't give keys away very often. I kind of felt like, I said to myself, he'd be the first younger kid I'll give it a key to. And it was a big deal for me because I don't give keys.
Does Sandor even have a key?
Yeah, he does now. I've 4 athletes. 4 athletes got a key.
The big dogs have the keys.
Oh, the big dogs. So for me, it's like, this is my heart. This is my love. You've got to get my respect to do that. And he's got my respect. He's like a little brother to me. So I just thought, fuck, these two can come in any time they want. I couldn't care. Greg's always here as well. So I love the bond they have. It's a real... If you know anything about father, and I keep talking about this, if you don't link the video, I was really crying either. But the bond between a father and son is just, these two is just incredible to watch. I respect the hell out of Greg because a kid can't make a decision at 14 to get the right people around you, to nurture your talents. You know your old man a lot and your mother. Never forget that. I know, it's just special to me to watch. Like, I'm being serious. I'm not taking the piss out of it. Because, gee, well, you know what I'm like with Dad. It's fucking unbelievable. So... I mean, my thing is to your work ethic. It should be told. You know, I'm glad we brought this out on social media because you just, for 4 years I've seen your work, man. It's been incredible. Any more questions, son?
That's it.
Is there anything you want to say? Because you're going to be coming back on this show after you get drafted, during the break between the Christmas break, because you are coming back. And I want to talk about your first part of training because you're probably going to have how long would you have? 6 weeks, Greg?
No. What?
4, but you get drafted.
Yeah,
Someone told me you got 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
And then you get 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So I want you to come back on in that Christmas period. I want to talk about the 4 weeks and see how you've changed because I want people to follow up on this story. Is there anything you want to say to anyone out there? Anything at all while I've got you on this show? Anything?
Thanks everyone that's helped me during my career to this far. Dad, Woody, Anthony Phillips.
Wait. Actually, this is a good one. Sorry, I forgot Ant Phillips, who is the coach of Brighton Grammar in the APS. Oh, for fuck's sake. Corville Grammar. How's he played a role? Because I forgot to bring him back. He's a big mentor as well. I know he's a very good operator. And I've heard from a lot of people, very good operator. He's 2 sons. You're friends with
Tom and Ed.
Both AFL players?
Yeah, St Kilda Collingwood.
So Ed is Collingwood?
No, Saints.
So Ed Phillips is Saints and...
Tom's Collingwood.
Tom Collingwood. What's his role in your life?
Well, Anthony's played like a really big role in my life. Just being a mate, not like mate of mine, but being like sort of like a fatherly figure. Like, I've got my dad and stuff.
Can always listen to Greg though. Kind of gets emotional. Greggy doesn't Greg? Yeah. Emotional man. Yeah, like me, Greg, very emotional.
Yeah, he's helped me so much in life and in football. Well, mainly football. Just he's improved my game so much this year, last year.
But so does he breaks down your game? He's like a mentor for your football, isn't he?
We go like through every week. Have my laptop in my computer with a USB and plug it in.
Am I the only one without a computer in Australia? You reckon? Like this kid.
What do you mean? You have one?
No, laptop.
You have one.
I don't have one.
It's in there.
Do I have a laptop?
You know you have one.
Oh shit! No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I gave it to Nick and he broke it. Anyway, so you bring your laptop and you watch your game.
Yeah. Watch not the highlights and lowlights of the game. Like,
no, but that's good because you
watch vision.
I want to explain this to people. Just so everyone understands, right? So you're telling me. You break down, you go to Anne is your your mentor, your skills coach. You break down the good parts of your game and the bad parts to work on each individual.
My vision. That's a better word for it.
Yeah, but apparently you've got no room to grow. But apparently he's got no room to grow. So if you want to bring that up again after hearing this story, I don't know how you can bring that up one more time because you actively work on every part of your game every week. That's every week though. That's every week, correct?
Every week, sometimes twice a week.
With Ant. So there we go. So not only that, also with your Oakley coaches as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, with your Oakley.
Yeah.
You play Oakley Chargers.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I want to touch on as well. How's the AS experience been for you? So the AS takes on Greg 20. 35 of the best footballers who they believe will get drafted. How have you found the AS? Luke Powers, the coach?
Yeah, Luke Powers, the coach. Yeah. Yep. Well, I found being in the AFL Academy for 2 years, my bottom age and top age here.
Yes.
Since the 16 carnival, I found it helped me so much in my development of my life and with my footy skills and just being a better person. It's got all different things. We've got skills coach, welfare, got everything there. So it's
like a system.
Yeah, so it's sort of like an AFL club, but it's an AFL club. So yeah.
Before we finish, I want you to tell any young kids who's going to follow your journey because there'll be a lot of Higgins lovers out there now, like young kids who'll be looking up to Jack now and saying, I want to be like Jack. Now, there's a young kid already, I'll give a shout out, Lockie Swanee, Sydney Academy. I know he follows you quite heavily. What advice can you give for younger footballers coming through right now in terms of a lot of kids before you, and now I brought this story out talking about your work ethic, a lot of kids just thought that it was just rocking up playing football. Yeah. Is there anything you can say to them that's going to inspire them?
Well, not at all, but if I had to inspire people out there to say hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard, so just keep working at your craft every day, every night. Just so if you get a spare hour, just keep practicing your footy skills, try to get better every day, everything you do, and when you need your break, you obviously rest, but when you are there to train, work, don't just screw around with your mates and stuff, go to training and work.
I think that really sums up Jack quite well. Before I finish this interview, I just want to say one thing. I'm not going to get emotional, but there's people out there who will criticise everything. Now, I feel that at 31, I feel at a stage now where I can say that I'm comfortable in my own skin to say that this kid, whichever AFL club picks him up, will be a fucking star. And I think he's a good person. And I think that his work ethic is unbelievable. For a young kid of his age, should be respected, not broken down and said that he's got no room to grow. I think that's bullshit and that's a lie. Because I've seen this kid work day in, day out, and he's a credit to whichever AFL team he goes to, he'll be an absolute credit and an asset to. And I think it's I'm being absolutely privileged to be a part of your story, Jack. And I appreciate you for all your support, and we'll be lifelong friends. And I'm so glad to be a part of this and to see you grow into not only the man you're going to become in life, not only the man you're going to become, but also the AFL football you're going to become. And I'll always be there to support you. I'll wear your jumper with pride. I'll wear your number with pride. And when I have kids, I'll be following you. Because the first thing I'll say to my son, you're following this kid straight. Don't follow me. Don't follow me, follow him if you want work ethic, because I think you're brilliant. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you, everything you've done for me, you and your dad. And I feel like I'm part of your family. I think you're just an absolute legend. So for everyone out there, follow this kid, support this kid, watch his journey, because he will get drafted where we do not know. And I just really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Beautiful. Well, that's the Ask Woodford this week. I have got emotional again. I try not to, but when it comes to stories, we all know I love stories, and Jack's a great story. Next week, episode, I'm trying to look at Alex here, episode 18. Correct. 18, I keep forgetting the Ask Woodford episode. Episode 18, once As always, guys, I want to thank my sponsors, macironfitness.com.au for all your equipment needs. Also, LP Support. I can't thank you guys enough for all your support with functional compression. Check them out, guys. LP Support. And that, guys, thank you, Greg. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jack. And I'll see you guys all next week.